INFP wiring of the mind. Hey, it's Joel Mark Witt for Personality Hacker. As an INFP, your mind is fundamentally wired differently from other personalities. You've probably already heard that you're an introvert, intuitive, feeler, perceiver. And a lot of articles and resources focus on the behaviors you show the world as an INFP. Behavior can be helpful, but it isn't the complete picture when figuring out your personality. I want to give you a peek inside your mind to expose the mental wiring that makes you an INFP. So let's get started. Your four-letter code, INFP, gives us insight into how your mind is learning information and making decisions. The primary way your mind makes decisions is a mental process we've nicknamed authenticity. Its technical name is introverted feeling. When evaluating any decision, authenticity asks the question, does this feel right? It's a feeling process concerned with core values, motivation, and conviction. Now imagine a four-passenger car. If one of your mental processes could drive, it would be authenticity. Using this mental process puts you in flow. You've been using it your whole life. It's how you decide what to do each day. If authenticity is how you make decisions as an INFP, then the mental process we've nicknamed exploration is how you learn new information. The technical name for exploration is extroverted intuition. When looking at the world, exploration asks the question, what if? What if time is relative? What if everyone was forced to hug each other instead of handshakes? What if numbers had gender assignment? What gender would you assign to the number 8? Think about that four-passenger car again. If authenticity is in your driver's seat, then exploration is in the front passenger seat. It's your co-pilot mental process and what we call your growth state. Of course, this is a four-passenger car, so you also have two mental processes in the back seat. Sitting right behind the co-pilot is a mental process we call memory. Memory is all about precedent, safety, doing the reliable thing. It's about realizing who you are based on your past and your ties to the past. This mental process has the development of about a 10-year-old child. Finally, behind the driver of authenticity sits a mental process called effectiveness. We call this your blind spot or 3-year-old mental process. Effectiveness is a thinking process and asks the question, what works? Or what gets the job done without regard to anyone's personal feelings? Now, I want you to notice that we haven't talked about INFP behaviors. Instead, I've been talking about the mental wiring of your mind. Behaviors can only give us clues into how your mind is wired. It's far more interesting to dive into what causes our behaviors as people. And here at Personality Hacker, we don't talk about personality types for their own sake. We think understanding your personality is one of the best ways to frame your personal growth journey. And we attract a lot of INFPs who are interested in personal growth. Next up, I want to talk about the best way to grow yourself as an INFP. Remember the car model we used to show the mental wiring of your personality? As an INFP, your co-pilot is the mental process called exploration. Its technical name is extroverted intuition. This is what we call your growth position. It's the highest leverage point for growth in your personality. Exploration allows you as an INFP to test your convictions and core values in real-life situations. Are they authentic to you? Do you have an unrealistic expectation for the outer world? Is there a piece of awareness that you're missing? Sometimes the only way to experience your own myopia is to get out into the world and see for yourself. Exploration helps you get clear on what's true for both yourself and the outside world. Instead of being seen by others as having your head in the clouds, you end up looking inspirational to other people. There may even be a radically new way of experiencing a point of view, leading you to an awesome new innovation. Now, growing your exploration can be a challenge. Every personality type tends to avoid growing their co-pilot mental process. But here lies the power of understanding your personality. It feels right to focus on something that can expand your experience of the world. It feels like it's in alignment, that to feel more authentic, you'll need to continue expanding the experiences and information that you work with as an INFP. It should feel in alignment that to continue doing the right things, You'll need to get outside yourself and experience the world for what it is, not for what you wish it was. Only then can you discover what truly matters to you on a core level. As an INFP, your exploration process can help you refine what's right for you. So don't ignore this advantage of increasing your awareness in the outside world. Start asking what-if questions. Start pushing buttons all around you just to see what happens. Explore a new part of town. Get up on a Saturday and just start walking with no agenda. Just let yourself ramble. Try a new food each time you go out. Join an improv class. Do what it takes to start messing with the environment around you. As an INFP, you will bring the best version of yourself to the world when you get outside your comfort zone and explore every aspect of life. Developing exploration makes you as an INFP grounded and approachable. We would love for you to keep us up to date about your journey. One of the best places to do that is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/personality hacker. And of course, come over to personalityhacker.com and leave a comment, ask a question, or take our personality test. Next, I want to talk about the defensive strategies your mind uses to steal happiness from you as an INFP. And of course, what to do about it. The word defensive, you probably think of an emotional state, or maybe someone getting offended in the moment. She's acting so defensive, someone might say. But I'm not talking about emotions. I'm using the word positionally. As an INFP, you have a specific area of your mind that you defend. As an INFP, that's your memory process sitting in the backseat of your car. Remember, it has the sophistication of a 10-year-old child. And that's okay when you use this process to create intimacy or playfulness. The trouble starts when you begin to rely on this 10-year-old process to convince yourself of core values you haven't actually tested in the real world. Since memory is concerned with precedent and what came before, it can actually stop you from expanding your worldview and the experiences you take in. Memory, remember its technical name is introverted sensing, generally shows up when you're afraid to take a risk you may intuitively know is right for you. For other people, playing it safe is the best choice. But as an INFP, you're much better at taking risks. If you let your 10-year-old process of memory do your thinking for you, it will encourage you to become an experiential shut-in, closed to any new experiences, and your convictions will become unrealistic. At worst, INFPs can become physical shut-ins, so afraid of taking risks they rarely leave the house, and instead choose to entertain themselves in a safe environment. You need to explore and take chances to prevent becoming stagnant in your choices and worldview. Don't let your memory process steal your happiness. The solution is to focus on growing your exploration process like we've talked about before. Now, I want to hear from you. How are you letting your 10-year-old process of memory hijack your happiness? What are the ways you as an INFP are playing it safe? You can leave a comment or take our personality test over at personalityhacker.com. And next, we'll talk about how you best show and receive love as an INFP. I've got 2 quick lists for you today. First, how INFPs ask, "Do you love me?" Second, how INFPs show other people love. Here are a few examples of how INFPs ask, "Do you love me?" Now just imagine an INFP asking these questions. Do you think I'm being real with you? Do you trust my motives and my intent? Will you support me no matter what? Do you have my back? Will you give me space to be me? Now here's some examples of INFPs saying, "Yes, I love you." Imagine an INFP making these statements. I will be patient with your honest expressions. I will honor your feelings and identity, even if it's a struggle for both of us. I will hold space for you and give you alone time when you need it. I will have your back no matter what the fight is. I will trust that you have my best interest at heart. As an INFP, you're probably nodding in agreement. Just remember that other personalities can sometimes see these ways you show love passive or self-absorbed. Feel free to share with people in your life how your mind works. Let them know the ways you show love are authentic to you. If you want to go deeper in your personal development, we have tons of resources, articles, and recordings about personal development through the lens of understanding your personality. Come over to personalityhacker.com. Next up, let's talk about where to go next in your personal growth journey as an INFP. I have some action steps for you. We've been talking about you, the INFP personality type. I've already detailed the mental wiring of your mind. We've talked about your highest leverage point for growth and shed light on your defensive strategies. And we've outlined how you give and receive love. So what's next for you as an INFP? How will you launch yourself on a personal development journey that resonates with you? Understanding that each of us have a unique personal growth path seems obvious. And yet, self-help authors and teachers often teach a one-size-fits-all model of growth. Here at Personality Hacker, it feels right that personal growth will be personalized to you as an INFP. So that's how we've designed our frameworks and models. You now know the mental process to grow yourself as an INFP is exploration. The enemy of exploration is the mundane and the rote. Exploration requires freedom to experiment, and too much mundane activity or reliance upon procedure is disheartening to your exploration process. Set up your conditions to access this mental process as much as possible. A good way to practice this technique is to seek out new situations you would normally avoid. If there's a question of doing something that feels right to you, but may have hassle or an unsafe element to it, practice taking the risk instead of playing it safe. It's common for INFPs, once they get past the scary part, to say, "Really? Was that it?" Most of your growth happens by being adventurous and letting go of the belief that you must live the way others want you to live. If you really want to deep dive into your individual growth plan as an INFP, I invite you to check out our INFP Personal Development Starter Kit. You can find more information at personalityhacker.com. And let me know what personal growth actions you're taking in your life and what has already worked for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm Joel Mark Witt for Personality Hacker. Talk with you soon.